Hello everybody, this is General Yanis, and today in That Tactics I'm going to be continuing my looking into the different Virion characters, and in this video I'm looking at the Plague Surgeon and extensively reviewing his abilities and is he really worth his points. And yeah, the Terminators here, they need some medical attention, and I don't know if I would be happy if this guy turns up to heal me, but let's get started. So today, the 9th of May, unfortunately, due to colds, my game with Custodes was postponed. My opponent got a cold. I think that's probably Nurgle's pre-battle contagion blessing or something like that. So let's see if we can play the game in later this week. So I hope soon I can get to the tabletop again. In this example, of course, the deep dive in this video, a deep dive into the Plague Surgeon, our elite 30 Virion with abilities to enhance the durability of our bubonic Astartes infantry, having a 6+, giving them 6+ feel no pain and healing abilities. So we'll be looking at his stats and weapons, his abilities and combos, and then some example uses coming to the conclusion of the video. So, but by the way, I wonder if the Plague Surgeon they take the Hippocratic Oath to save lives, etc. But this tool looks very interesting to get some stuff out. All right, so let's get started with the stats and the weapons. So the Plague Surgeon stats, we have the standard Virion stat line here. His point cost is 75 points, one of the more expensive Virion. He has a 5-inch movement, 3+ weapon skill, ballistic skill, 4 strength, 5 toughness, 4 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 8, and a 3+ save. He has disgusting resilience, and he has contagions. So of course, the keywords are Infantry. Bubonic Astartes is a character. He has a first Plague company. He's in the Virion, etc. His abilities are the Tainted Narthecium, is an aura for Bubonic Astartes infantry within 3 inch of the Plague Surgeon. They gain 6+, feel no pain. And Revitalizing Malignancy, end of movement phase, he can heal 1 Bubonic Astartes infantry within 3 inches, and regaining this infantry unit regains D3 lost wounds. His weapons are a bolt pistol and a bale sword, so he has at least a decent melee weapon. The bolt pistol, of course, a bit lackluster. The bale sword, strength +1, AB -3, damage 1. It's the bale sword also that the Blight Lord Terminators are having, so he's basically like a Blight Lord in melee, but only very limited shooting. He has grenades, Blight Grenade and Crack Grenade, and since he has the bale sword, he is eligible to take the Plaguebringer relic that becomes +2 strength, will be strength 6, AP -3, and damage 2 weapon, and slain models count as 2 for morale. So that could be, he at least is eligible to get a better melee weapon, but the bale sword is not bad. So the standard supporting character profile, weapon-wise, the simple bolt pistol and grenades and a bale sword that you could in theory replace with a Plaguebringer. But in all fairness, I think probably the surgeon shouldn't be fighting all that much. He should be protecting the infantry with his auras. So his main applicability comes from his aura and ability to give feel no pain and heal wounds for the Bubonic Astartes infantry. Also interesting to note is that his healing abilities go for the Bubonic Astartes infantry army-wide and not Plague Company specific, so it doesn't matter which Plague Company he is to heal. He can heal Bubonic Astartes infantry from other Plague Companies as well. So just quickly looking at his weapon damage output, the Plague Surgeon, the bolt pistol is the gray. Here we see the average wounds not point corrected for a variety of 31 targets I'm typically simulating. So you see a bolt pistol doesn't do a lot of wounds across the table on average. The bale sword with 4 attacks, he can do at least one, 2 wounds depending on the enemy. Here against chaff infantry, he maybe can do 2 wounds on average. Against a bit tougher opponents, he can do 1, 2 wounds here. Nothing groundbreaking. The relic could be an idea, but if you have a Chaos Lord, it's better to give it to him. You can get better uses for relics. There are better relics to take for your command points for other units rather than the Plague Surgeon, but if you would be taking the Plague Bringer, you can see it does double the better damage compared to the Bale Sword. So now let's look to his main applicability, the durability buffs. The Plague Surgeon's aura and ability, they help Bubonic Astartes infantry. And which are those units? So we have, for 2 wound models, we have Plague Marines and Possessed are Bubonic Astartes infantry, so they can be benefiting from the Plague Surgeon. We have the Blight Lord and the Death Shroud Terminators being 3 wound models. And then we also have our HQ characters, basically all the lords, and Typhus, but not Demon Prince or Mortarion. They are demonic, they're not infantry. And then we have the Virion characters like himself and the other Virion, and the Plaguecaster. So basically, a vast array of our characters can benefit, and then our core unit infantry, and not things like cultist or poxwalkers or or spawn, etc. So his healing ability, the Revitalizing Malignancy, to regain D3 lost wounds for Bubonic Astartes infantry is most useful for Terminators or characters where you have a chance to bring 2-3 wounds back on a model. The ideal would be a Terminator remain with only 1 wound left, and then he can be back to full wounds. Also, if it was a character like Typhus or Lord of Contagion, he's maybe down to a couple of wounds, he can bring it back and continue the fight. So yeah, could be interesting to bring more life to the hard-hitting characters like the Lord of Contagion, Typhus, etc. But then he has to be close to those characters, close to maybe fighting some dangerous opponents. For Marines and Possessed, it's not so good. The healing, he can maximum heal 1 wound, and more seldom you would have a wounded model. You might have, and you can regain 1 wound on one of the Marines, but it's better if you can heal Terminators back to full wounds. The aura ability can help all the units, the Tainted Athesium, that the 6+ Feel No Pain, can be helpful for all these units mentioned above, but the 3-inch aura is unfortunately not very large, so it's difficult for him to apply it to many units. But if we can pair it with a Fugaris Helm relic for 1 command point, basically you have to take a couple more relics, it becomes 9-inch aura for the game, which you could impact a sufficient number of units and characters within a 9-inch bubble. And also, if you have the Ferryman Plague Company, you can use the on droning wind stratagems. You can make the 3-inch aura become 9-inch aura for a turn. If you have it with a Fugaris Helm relic and combined with this, then you get a 12-inch bubble of this aura ability. But the Fugaris Helm relic probably is a good pairing with a surgeon if you decide to take a surgeon. So let's see what now this aura is doing, the Tainted Narthesium, the 6++ Feel No Pain. What is this effect? So here in this quite busy table, I've looked at different weapons. So let's assume that we have an unsaved weapon coming in, and if it's a baseline damage 1, after the Disgusting Resilience on the Bubonic Astartes infantry, it's still 1. With Surgeon's 6+ Feel No Pain, you would be saving 1 out of 6 of those. So you, on average, you would be getting 0.8 wounds from a damage 1 weapon. So on average, the damage will be reduced by 1/6, so 16.6%. Our units, this means that our units can take 20% more shots before being killed. And this is applicable to damage 1 and 2 weapons. The damage 2 weapons basically also become damage 1 counting after Disgusting Resilience. So the effect of the aura is the same. As a reference, Miasma of Pestilence, if the opponents are hitting us from 3+, and then with -1 to hit, they go to 4+, this allows us to take 33% more shots. So Miasma of Pestilence is stronger, it's a stronger effect than the 6+ Feel No Pain, but still the 6+ Feel No Pain could be helping us over the course of the game to reduce the incoming damage. Now going to higher damage weapons, for example here, if we have a weapon with a straight damage 3 or a d6 weapon where you roll a 3 or something like this, after Disgusting Resilience it is 2, and without the Surgeon, a Plague Marine or Possessed would be dead. but now you would, if you have the surgeon, then you would be needing to roll. You would be needing to roll 1/6 out of those two, so you have a 30% chance to do so. So it's only 70% risk of losing the model if you have the surgeon here. So with this strength 3 weapon, the Plague Marines have a fighting chance to survive. The Terminators still, with the damage 3 weapon, they cannot be killed. If we go to a damage 4 weapon, or if you roll a 4 on the high damage weapons, after discussing resilience, it is 3. 100% chance without the surgeon that the Plague Marine or possessed are dead, but we only have 7% chance of saving him, even if we have the 6+ Feel No Pain aura. Here we would be, so it's a very high chance that we will be losing the model anyway. Even with the surgeon, we would be needing to hit 2 6s out of 3, so that's only 7% chance. If we look at the Terminators, here comes a good applicability. Let's say if we are hit with a damage 4 weapon, it becomes 3. The Terminator would be dead, if unsaving here, of course. Without the surgeon, the Terminator would be dead, but we only need to do 1/6 out of 3. That's a 42% chance to save him, so it's only 58% risk that we lose the Terminator. So here the surgeon could be ultimately saving a Blight Lord to take one more hit before he dies, saving his friend next to him, at least. And if he survives the whole ordeal, the surgeon could heal him next turn. And then we can see as the damage increases, basically if there is a 6 damage weapon or 5 damage weapon for Plague Marines, even with a surgeon, we can basically not save them. Even we would be needing to hit so many 6s, it will probably never happen. And of course, the higher the damage here, the less also we will be needing to make a lot of 6s to save the Terminators. If we look at the D3 weapon, D3 weapon is basically can be 1, 2, or 3 damage. So here there is a third chance that the Plague Marine is killed. Without a surgeon, it becomes only a 20% risk that the Plague Marine is dead. If we also have the 6+ Feel No Pain aura, D3 weapons can't outright kill Terminators. Then if we go to D6, here we also have quite a good effect of this weapon, or at least some effect of the surgeon, that if we don't have the surgeon, a Plague Marine would be killed 2/3 of the time. It's a bit better chances of surviving, 40% chance to survive, 60% chance that the Plague Marine is dead by D6 weapon. Still high, but a bit improved. And here we have a bigger effect on the Terminators. So basically a 50-50 chance with the D6 on 4, 5, 6s. Without the surgeon, the Terminator is dead. If we have the surgeon, we would be having only a 40% risk that the Terminator is dead. And then as the weapons become more and more dangerous, D6 + 2 or D3 + 3, basically, yeah, the Plague Marines would be dead directly with hit by such a weapons if they can't save. But even with a surgeon, there is a very slim chance that they can be saved. A bit better chances and odds here for the Terminators. So for example, a D3 + 3, that they will be automatically be dead without the surgeon. With a surgeon, there is a 19-20% chance that you can save them. You need to hit a couple of 6s, and then you could survive one more shot. One other thing to keep in mind is that with the 6+ Feel No Pain, we also get some protection from mortal wounds. So for example, if we are hit by a smite, D3 mortal wounds, the disgusting resilience doesn't help us. The 6+ Feel No Pain helps us a bit. So here is the risk of losing a Marine or a possessed. It's 2/3, but it goes down to 50-50. Let's say if we can maybe save with some 6s, etc. Also Terminators, there is a 1/3 chance that we will be losing a Terminator to a smite. This becomes 20% risk because we have the opportunity to save with some 6s. So summarizing, on average, the damage will reduce, as I said, by 17%. Our units can take 20% more shots on average with the surgeon aura. For higher damage weapon, the 6+ feel no pain give us a chance to save a model where we otherwise will have lost it. This effect is best for the Terminators. On some of these weapons, they still have a fighting chance. For Plague Marines, for very high damage weapons, they basically can't save themselves even with a Surgeon. And it gives defense for Terminators for D6, D6+2, and D3+3 weapons. And in the best case scenario, as I said, the shot just wounds a Terminator who otherwise is dead, and then the Surgeon will heal him back to full health, or that the Terminator will be taking 2 very high damage shots to be killed instead of only 1. Marines and Possessed, less benefit for the high damage weapons here. We get some protections versus mortal wounds, and now I will continue giving some examples for a whole squad shooting at Plague Marines or Terminators with and without the Surgeon aura. So let's see what the Surgeon aura can do for 2 wound Plague Marines. So in this first example, we have 2 plasma shots, not supercharged. For example, we have a unit of 10 Hellblasters shooting our Plague Marines, and I've run 200 simulations here, so we have the variability of the dice, not only the average wounds here. And here you can see with the blue line the standard wound output. So you have 2 wounds here, 1 Marine would be killed, 2 Marines killed, 3 Marines, 4 Marines, etc. killed. So we see, and here is the probability that it happens, or the frequency that it happens in my simulations here. So on average, we got 7.4, between 3 and 4 dead Marines is the highest, let's say the average dead. And with the orange line, if we have the 6+ feel no pain, we are only getting 6 wounds on average, so we'll be losing, let's say, 3 Marines. Here it's close that we will be losing 4 Marines. So with some good rolling, we could almost save, let's say, 1 Marine, half Marine to 1 Marine in this example. So that's worth, let's say, 15 points saved with the Surgeon aura. But if we had Miasma of Pestilence instead, the gray one, we would have even less, let's say, wounds taken. And if we combine the Surgeon and Miasma of Pestilence, we will be losing, let's say, 2 Marines instead of almost 4 Marines. So of course, a combo of Surgeon and Miasma of Pestilence could increase the durability. Here is the yellow line here. So you see there is not very high risk that we will be losing a lot of models here with no protection. These plasma shots, we could lose an entire squad of Plague Marines, and it's get less, let's say, we get less risk of losing the whole squad if we have the Plague Surgeon around. In the example 2, we have 10 Melta shots shooting at the Plague Marines at 24 inch, so D6 damage. So this could be 5 Eradicators shooting at them. So here you see the average wounds from 6 to 5.5. Miasma is 5, and Surgeon plus Miasma is 4. So with a Surgeon and Miasma, you will be saving 1 Plague Marine, but you get less effect on this D6 weapon, because if the damage roll is very high, even the Surgeon doesn't do so much to help. And then looking at some examples for the Terminators that have 3 wounds, and of course they have 4+ single save, so their baseline durability is better, of course. So here we have 20 plasma shots. Again, it's at the first example, shooting not supercharged at the Terminators. The average wounds with no aura would be 4 wounds on average. If we include the Surgeon aura, it's let's say half a wound less, so a little bit of 0.2 Blight Lords saved here. With Miasma Pestilence, of course, still better, and Surgeon and Miasma the best effect, almost saving half of a Terminator for this example shooting. But let's say we're saving 0.2 Terminator points here by having access to the Surgeon aura for this damage 1 weapon in essence. If we look at example 2, we have 10 Melta shots again at 24 inches, D6 damage, for example 5 Eradicators shooting. Here with the Blight Lords, I try to make it in another way. Here you can see what is the probability from this example that 0 Blight Lord Terminators are dead. It's 34% of the times when we do the 10 Melta shots, no Terminator dies. If we have the Surgeon aura, we have 46% chance that it's not dying, 58% with miasma, and 67% with Surgeon and miasma. Here's 1 dead, 2 dead, etc. Again, you see here, we can see the average wounds, the dead Terminators on average, and we can see we are saving 0.2 Terminators with a Surgeon aura. We are saving half a Terminator on average if we have Surgeon and miasma of Pestilence on this unit. Continuing with the 3 wound Terminators and cranking up the damage of the weapons. In this example, let's look at 10 Dark Lances with D3 plus 3 damage. It could come from a Ravager and Raider spam. So here we see, again, this table where we see what is the chance that 26%, 0 dead Terminators, 1, 2, 3, etc. We see here on average 1.5 Terminator would die from this barrage. With a Surgeon, 1.3, so we are saving again almost 0.2. And if we combine Surgeon and miasma, again, we are saving almost half a Blight Lord Terminator, as opposed to not having one. Finally here, 10 Melta shots at half range, D6 plus 2 damage. Here, this is the average damage expected. Here, the Surgeon's aura is, let's say, less effective from the D6 plus 2. Because we will need a lot of 6s to make a big impact. Miasma of Pestilence still works, and Surgeon and miasma still give some good. Let's say here we are saving less here than in the previous example. So, trying to answer the complicated question: is the Surgeon worth his points? So at 75 points, the Surgeon is worth the equivalent of 3, a bit more than 3 Plague Marines and 1.5, 2 Terminators. Let's say it's depending on if it's a Blight Lord or Death Shroud. We can basically disregard any shooting damage he brings, and in melee he's like a Blight Lord, but we are losing out on something. By taking him, we could have put more Plague Marines on the table, we could have put other characters, etc. on the table. But by putting him on the table, in the shooting examples, we could have saved half to 1 Marine or around 0.2 Terminators. So say 10 to 15 points equivalent saved units per shooting event that happens for every unit that shots that is close to the Surgeon's aura. With a Fugaris Helm, as I said, with the aura being 9-inch, he can protect multiple infantry units per turn. Additionally, he can heal Terminators for more durability, improving the saving over time. So I think it's fair to say that by these examples, if properly used, if he's close to Bubonic Astartes infantry, I think it's highly probable over the course of the game he will save his point worth of other models. He only needs to save 1.5, 2 Terminators. This would happen over the course of the game, slowly chipping away some of the damage that we are taking. A bit subtle effect, but it will come over the turn, let's say, over the course of the game. So the best use would be following along units of Blight Lords, probably foot slogging, and probably a best combo would be to increase the durability of big Blight Lord units that are part of While We Stand We Fight secondary to maximize the survivability. And the combo with Miasma of Pestilence, if you look at the tables, if you go back and look at the tables, you will be saving quite many more Terminators per shooting event if you combine it with Miasma of Pestilence. Or cover, of course, will help, and if you put them in hard terrain, also it pairs up with a Miasma of Pestilence. So I think the problem of taking the Surgeon, so yeah, the numbers are saying that he will most probably get his money worth, point worth back of saves, but the problem will be allocating points, so taking 75 points of the list and not bring something else, and he's not by himself game changing. And the potential issue, of course, on the game is you need to have him at the right place. For example, it can be difficult for him to be close to deep striking Terminators to buff their durability. Maybe it happened in one tabletop game I had that the surgeon was protecting some units that never came under fire. That could also be a success. Let's say he got a quiet game and then he was just a waste of points. Of course, if you have a list not so infantry heavy, or if you have a lot of poxwalkers, maybe a few terminators, you have a lot of demon engines, of course the surgeon will not help in that list setting. And bringing a surgeon here, you're giving, of course, your opponent another target for assassinate. So reaching to the summary and final thoughts for the Plague Surgeon. The Plague Surgeon can provide enhanced durability for our Bubonic Astartes infantry units, which are basically the Plague Marines, Possessed, Terminators, Blightlord and Deathshroud, the Lords, Plague Casters, the HQ characters that are not demons, let's to say, and the Virion characters. The effect is not huge for a single unit, as you saw in the examples, and the 6+ feel no pain and healing can be more practical. Let's say they are more useful in saving a Terminator from high damage weaponry rather than maybe helping out Plague Marines. I think in an infantry heavy list and paired with, for example, the Fugaris Helm relic, his protection and healing will most probably pay back itself over the course of the game, saving more than 1.5 Terminators or 3 Plague Marines. So basically he's saving more than he costs himself. And if you take him in this configuration, you can also think of adding the Arch Contaminator Warlord trait, as he will be close to the front lines, so Arch Contaminator benefiting the infantry unit he's protecting, and with the Fugaris Helm relic, also the Arch Contaminator will be a 12-inch aura, and with a 9-inch aura, 6+ feel no pain. That will probably be a combo if you take him. I think the problem to take him is it's difficult to find points for him in list, and I think his benefit is more subtle and not so evident compared to the other Virion. If you take the Taliman, the Foul Blightspawn, even the Biologus Putrefier, you see immediate effects. The Taliman gives you CPs every turn. The Foul Blightspawn, denying the opponent the charge to go first, can be really game-changing. The Biologus can do a lot of mortal wounds. He can do something immediately, while the surgeon is subtle and quiet, let's say behind our units, helping save a wound here and a wound there over the course of the game. He can help you, but he's not this super fantastic effect you have as evidence. So maybe for a very heavy infantry list, he probably is really worth taking, but for many of the games it's better to take some other Virion and save some points from the surgeon. So this is the concluding the video. What do you think about the Plague Surgeon, and have you been using him, and have you seen this effect? Have you noticed some events where he have been saving you, or has he been more a waste of points? Please leave some comment below. Please press like if you like this video, and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate all your support and subscriptions and your comments. And if you want to further support my channel and efforts to bring you all this math and death card tactics, please visit my Patreon page. And with these words, General Yanis is signing out. Stay safe out there, and bye-bye.